Have you ever walked into a room, locked eyes with someone and wondered what they noticed about you first? Maybe you thought it was your clothes, your hair, or even the way you walked. Or let's be honest, maybe you've convinced yourself that women only notice the obvious things like your height, your bank account, or how conventionally attractive you are. But what if I told you you're completely wrong? Here's the thing. The first things women notice about men are often so subtle that most guys don't even realize they're being judged on them. Yes, these details matter, and not just a little. They can make or break a first impression before you've even had a chance to speak. So let me ask you, do you think you know what those things are, or maybe you have a different opinion altogether? Well, today, we're breaking it all down. Everything you need to know about the first 15 things women notice about men and find attractive. Some of these might surprise you, and others might make you completely rethink how you present yourself. Welcome to Ema, your go-to channel for real, relatable advice on navigating the complexities of love and relationships. Let me tell you a story I came across in a popular relationship group on Reddit. It's about a guy named Chris and a woman named Sarah. Now, Chris is one of those guys who, by all standards, has a lot going for him. He's got a stable job. He's funny, and he considers himself a catch. He's the type of guy who assumes that once he starts talking, his personality will do all the heavy lifting, but here's the twist. Sarah didn't seem to notice him that way at all. Why, one day, Chris and Sarah found themselves in the same social group at a mutual friend's gathering. You know, how these things go, lots of small talk, casual laughter, and the occasional opportunity to really connect with someone. Chris saw this as his moment. He thought to himself, this is it, time to impress her, so he went all in, leaning into what he thought was his greatest strength. His humour, he cracked jokes all evening, told funny stories about work, and even teased a few of the mutual friends there, hoping to get Sarah's attention. But here's where things get interesting. Sarah's reaction, she barely laughed at best. She gave him polite smiles, and before he could even try to shift the conversation into something more personal, she excused herself to join another group. Chris, of course, was confused. He thought he had done everything right. He was funny, outgoing, and engaging, but why wasn't it working? A few days later, Chris found out the truth from a mutual friend. Sarah didn't even remember him from that night. She couldn't recall the jokes he told or how hard he was trying to connect. The only thing she remembered. He had dirty fingernails. Can you imagine that? Here's this guy putting so much effort into being the funniest and most charming person in the room, and none of it mattered. All she noticed, the one thing that stuck in her mind, was something he hadn't even considered: his hands. Now think about that for a second. How often have you overlooked the small things about yourself, the details you think don't matter, only to find out later that they might have been the deal breakers? Chris's story might feel all too familiar. Maybe you've been in a similar situation where you thought your effort would shine through, but the first impression didn't go the way you'd hoped. Or maybe, as you're hearing this, you're starting to realize there are things about yourself you've never even thought about before. Things someone might be noticing right now. The truth is, it's not always the big things that make the biggest impact. It's often the smallest, most overlooked details that leave the strongest impression. So what do you think Chris could have done differently? Was it just about his nails, or was there more to it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Maybe it was about something deeper, like how he carried himself, or how he approached the conversation, or maybe you think there's something else he missed entirely. Your advice might be exactly what someone else watching this video needs to hear. Right now, the takeaway here is simple. Pay attention to the things you think don't matter, because they often matter the most. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing that you care. Women notice those little details, and they say so much more than words ever could. So, what about you? Are there any small details about yourself that you think might be sending the wrong message. If this story resonates with you, it's time to take a closer look. Let's dive into the first 15 things women notice about men and find attractive. These aren't just random observations, they're details that paint a picture of who you are. Often before you even say a word, pay attention, because as we've seen, it's often the smallest things that leave the strongest impression. 1. Eyes. Let's start with the eyes because they're one of the first things women notice. They say your eyes are the windows to your soul, but they're also windows into your attention and focus. Are you making confident eye contact when you're speaking with her? Or are your eyes wandering around the room, looking at your phone or scanning for an escape route? Eye contact conveys confidence, interest, and respect. It's not about staring her down, but rather about showing that you're fully present in the conversation. And here's the flip side. Women also notice when your eyes wander to places they shouldn't. So remember, your eyes are saying just as much as your words. 2, chivalry next up is chivalry. And no, chivalry isn't dead. In fact, it's one of the most underrated qualities women notice right away. These are the small, thoughtful actions that show you're considerate of others, holding the door open, offering to carry something, or even standing up when she enters the room. All these gestures go a long way. And don't think it's about showing off chivalry, it's about respect. And when women see that you're thoughtful toward others, it leaves a lasting impression. 3, scent. Let's talk about scent. Because believe me, women notice how you smell before you've even had a chance to say hello. Scent is tied to memory and emotion, which is why it's so powerful. You don't have to wear the most expensive cologne in the world, but you do need to smell clean and pleasant, whether it's from a subtle fragrance or just good hygiene. Your scent tells her that you're someone who takes care of yourself. And remember, it's not just about what you smell like in the moment. It's about leaving a positive impression that lingers long after you've left for style and dress sense. Style matters. Women notice how you present yourself. And it's not about wearing designer clothes or following the latest fashion trends. It's about wearing clothes that fit well, are clean, and are appropriate for the occasion. A crisp, well-fitted shirt paired with decent shoes can do wonders. Think about it if you're showing up to an event looking unkempt. It gives off the impression that you don't care. On the other hand, putting even a little effort into your style communicates self-respect and attention to detail. Number 5, your hair is another detail. Women notice almost immediately, is it styled clean and intentional? Or does it look like you just rolled out of bed, whether you prefer a buzz cut, a fade, or longer hair? The key is maintenance, keeping your hair trimmed and tidy. Shows effort, and effort is always attractive. Even if you're balding or prefer a shaved head, women notice confidence in how you own your look. 6 hands are one of the most overlooked parts of a man's appearance. But women notice them. Are your hands clean and well groomed? Are your nails trimmed? Hands can say a lot about you. Neglected hands might give off the impression that you don't care about the details, while clean, cared for hands show that you pay attention to yourself. And let's not forget, hands are often visible in any interaction, whether you're shaking hands, holding a drink, or gesturing during a conversation before we proceed. If you find value in this video, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us grow and makes you an integral part of our journey. And we deeply appreciate your contribution. Now, let's return to our discussion, 7, physical fitness. Let's be clear, physical fitness isn't about having a six-pack or looking like a bodybuilder. It's about taking care of your body and showing that you're active and healthy. Women notice if you're putting effort into staying in shape because it reflects discipline, self-respect, and energy. Whether it's regular workouts, staying active, or even just good posture. Physical fitness communicates that you care about your overall well-being. 8 shoes, yes shoes. Women notice your footwear. And it's not just about style, It's about cleanliness and appropriateness. Are your shoes scuffed and worn out, or are they polished and well kept? Shoes are like a small preview of your overall style and attention to detail. The good news is you don't need a massive collection. A few versatile, clean pairs that suit different occasions are all you need. Number 9, smile lines and facial expressions. Your face tells a story before you ever speak a word. Women notice your smile, your expressions, and even your overall demeanour. A genuine smile instantly makes you more approachable and likeable. On the other hand, if your expression looks bored, stressed, or uninterested, it can send the wrong message. Think about the energy you're projecting with your facial expressions, because women are definitely picking up on it. 10. Confidence. Confidence is one of the most attractive traits you can have. And women notice it almost immediately. Confidence isn't about being loud or arrogant. It's about being comfortable with who you are. It's in your posture, your tone of voice, and the way you carry yourself. Are you walking into a room like you belong there, or are you shrinking into the background? Confidence says, I know who I am, and I'm comfortable with it, and that kind of self-assurance is magnetic. 11. Clip fingers. This ties back to hands, but deserves its own. Point clean. Clipped fingernails are a detail women absolutely notice. It's a small thing, but it says a lot about your hygiene and how much effort you put into taking care of yourself. Neglecting this sends a message that you overlook the basics, which can be a turn-off. 12. Clean toenails. Yes, toenails matter too, especially in certain settings. If you're wearing open-toed shoes at the beach or pool, women notice whether you've put effort into keeping them clean. It's a simple detail, but it communicates thoroughness and self-care. 13. Bad breath can ruin even the most engaging conversation. Women notice this instantly, and it's something that's completely in your control. Whether it's through brushing, flossing, or keeping mints on hand, fresh breath is a must. It shows that you're prepared and considerate of others. 14. Sense of humour. Humour is one of the most attractive traits you can have, but there's a balance to it. Women notice when humour feels genuine and effortless, versus when it feels forced or overdone. Like Chris in the earlier story, trying too hard to be funny can come off as insecure. The key is to read the room and use humour naturally. A light, playful sense of humour that doesn't try too hard is far more appealing than constant jokes. 15. Energy and vibe. Finally, women notice your inner energy and the vibe you bring into a space. Are you approachable, warm, and genuine, or are you giving off stress, arrogance, or negativity? Your energy is contagious. Whether you realize it or not, women pick up on the way you make them feel. A calm, confident, and positive vibe will always stand out. These are the first 15 things women notice about men, and while they might seem small together, they paint a big picture of who you are. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing effort, self-respect, and confidence. What about you are there? Any of these areas you've overlooked? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective as a thank you for sticking with us to the end of this video. Here's a bonus point that often flies under the radar but can leave an unforgettable impression. Thoughtfulness. Women notice when you're thoughtful. It's one of the most underrated yet powerful traits you can have. Thoughtfulness is about paying attention to the little things that others might overlook. It could be remembering a small detail she mentioned in passing, like her favourite coffee order or a story she told about her day. Or maybe it's something as simple as checking in to see if she got home safely after a long night. Here's why this matters so much. Thoughtfulness shows her that you're not just present, you're engaged. It tells her that you're genuinely interested in who she is, not just what she can offer you. And believe me, thoughtfulness is rare. It sets you apart in a world where most people are too distracted to notice the details. So here's your challenge. The next time you're in a conversation, focus on listening instead of waiting for your turn to talk. Pay attention to the small things because those are often the ones that make the biggest impact. Thanks again for sticking with us. And don't forget to let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's take a moment to recap. Women, notice the details. Your eyes, your scent, your energy, your hands, and so much more. These aren't grand flashy gestures or things that require you to reinvent yourself. There's small intentional actions that show effort, self-respect, and confidence. The good news, every single one of these is within your control. Now here's the important part. It's time to take what you've learned and apply it. Start paying attention to those small details about yourself, because they often make the biggest difference. Which of these 15 things resonated with you the most? Are there areas you've been overlooking? Drop the word details in the comments to let us know you made it to the end, and feel free to share your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. It really helps more people discover our content. And don't forget to subscribe for more real, relatable advice on love and relationships. Share this video with a friend who could benefit from hearing these tips, because self-improvement is better when we do it together. Thank you for watching, and be sure to check out the video we've recommended for you on the screen. We'll see you back here tomorrow.